it's Sandra with Brew City Thrifts. Today I am at the Goodwill of Brookfield, which is west of Milwaukee, and I have not been here in quite a while. So it's a Thursday after work, and I'm excited to get in there and see what they've got for us today. Let's get in there and let's hit it. Starting at the back of the store today, I am panning where they've got some teapots and kitchen items, glassware, a lot of different things, mostly for the kitchen though. First thing I pick up is this set of creamer and sugar. It feels like crystal. It could be cut crystal. It's a nice set. They're asking $7 each. So I move on. I thought these might be sake glasses, but they were made in Brazil, so I'm not sure what those were. I was looking at this hand painted teapot. It's got a matching pitcher back there with red peppers, hot peppers on them, like hot jalapeno peppers, so maybe made in Mexico. This dish looked like it had hand painting and enameling, but it was not marked. It was pretty. This one, Uno Casa, not a brand I know. Also looking at that looks contemporary. Down on the bottom shelf, I wanted to actually look at that tile, so I was moving the glassware that was on top of it. And yeah, this is a hand-painted tile. Looks vintage. It is made into a trivet or wall hanging with the cast iron around it. And it is very pretty. It is something I'm considering. Definitely really like the painting there. Then scanning a lower shelf, I am interested in pulling something out, and I'm gonna have to put the camera down. So this is what I wanted to pull out, this pretty plate. It's got a nice detail to it. It's got some heft to it, so it seems to be quality. It's by Porzellan Oettinger, or Oettinger's the pattern. I wasn't able to find it online. It looks like transferware. It's a very pretty plate with some pretty pheasants or birds, but I decide to leave it. Still among the kitchenware items, I see tucked away back here some new in their wrapping sets of coasters. They're made out of slate. And this is the kind of thing I sometimes pick up to donate, actually, to where I work. And so I think I might take those along with me for a donation. I might check, see how they do online, but they're pretty plain, so not sure about how well they might do online. Then, of course, we've got a little bit of Corningware here. Down here, it looks like we've got covered Pyrex bowl. They are priced up a little bit here for this Goodwill. I don't typically pick up Pyrex and bakeware like that because I just don't know enough about it. And oftentimes it is priced up. It does seem like the Goodwills have gotten the message about Pyrex for sure. There's an older looking transferware pitcher. And back here, I'm trying to reach, looks like a handmade item. Oh, and it's signed. So hand painted. It's an apple baker. It's spongeware decorated and is by Joyce Dumpsey. So let's put that in my cart for me to think about for a bit. So I had also noticed on one of the lower shelves another tile, and I wanted to pull it out and look at it. And this is sort of nerdy, but I'm kind of a nerd, so I like it. It's a knight. His name is Ralph of Monthermer, and definitely has some age. I think the back is a little damaged, but I do like the front, and I'm going to put it in my cart. I've mentioned my strategy when I'm sort of learning an area, kind of item. I go with something that I like and I know. And so here in the glasses area, one thing I look for are ceramic, hand-painted ceramic shot glasses. It's just something I'll do because I've picked up some Deruta ones that do well for me, and it just helps me weed through all of this. So my eye is trained to look for something a little different, and I noticed this. It's a shotgun shell shot glass. Well, that's unusual for me. And I decided it's 99 cents. I put it in my cart. I'm going to look it up. Turns out I'm really glad I did. It's silver plated and it says just a little shot. I'm among kitchen items here, and I noticed these little cups because they look like otagiri and they are actually Takahashi. They're a couple little Takahashi bowls, could be for tea, and they're pretty. They're not super flashy, kind of a subtle design. And behind it is a cute little vintage looking kitty cup, ceramic. Over to the right, we've got some hand painted egg cups. I don't recognize the maker, and I'm just not so super crazy about them. I looked at these. This is a measuring spoon set with faux antlers. It's made out of, I believe it's made out of stone, and or it looks ceramic. I do pick up Northwoods type items, not infrequently, because I'm up here near the Northwoods, and people up in Wisconsin do like decorating their cabins in that style. That little terracotta pot was for planting seedlings. Down here we've got a kitchen chef who has seen better days. Coming into the China sets area, and we've got some older pieces up here on the top shelf. This little pitcher looks to have a little bit of age. Little pitcher with a dish underneath it. Over here we've got a teacup. It's a mark that I don't recognize. Next to it is a little salt or pepper shaker. This lower shelf, more teacups, part of the same set. They're very pretty, actually. I do like them. And here we've got a hand-painted teapot. It looks to be hand-painted, at least. It's all pattern is all the way around the pot, which is interesting to me, but it is contemporary. It's called Special Place. It's made in China, so it's probably newer, and I decide to leave it. Oh, back here we have something. This is a pretty hand-painted plate. It's got a signature. It's got a gilded rim. This is kind of up my alley. Somebody had signed it on the back to someone, and that is always a toss-up. I really have to kind of love the painting, or I'm going to pass because there's so many of those out there. It does have the signature, but I do decide I don't need it. I'm interested in this plate down here, which is, it looks so detailed. It looks like geisha ware, which is Japanese. This, though, the detail and the quality seems so high. I unfortunately can't read the back. I don't know if that is Japanese or Chinese. If my daughter were with me, she could tell me because she knows a little Japanese. Either way, I'm going to give it a shot. It's pretty. The China sets here, there were a lot of hand painted sets, but most of them were contemporary. I was just kind of learning about the different, more contemporary patterns in painted, hand painted plates and dishes. Anyway, notice this. This stands out for the sense of age, and it is Royal Albert. And it is just a saucer, but Royal Albert is such a good brand. I'm thinking I'm going to take a look at that. Maybe as a replacement piece, it would be worthwhile. And while I had this idea of replacement pieces in mind, I saw these two other saucers, and they both also looked like they could be something worthwhile to pick up as a replacement piece. So looking at the different patterns and the backs, I decide I'm going to take this one with me as well. The pattern is Tuscan and it's made in England. Got some fun three-dimensional teacups up there and down here. And I'm very fond of those. I've tried to restrict myself more towards if they have the peekaboo design with the little figure inside. Then I noticed this. This is a Harry Potter piece. It's $4.99 for a boxed cauldron mug. Quality isn't knocking me over though. I do have colleagues that are big Harry Potter fans that I've picked things up for in the past, and this time I decide I'm not so sure about it. I do love the cobalt blue glass mugs. I have a few personally that I really enjoy, and I thought about this for a minute, like, do I need another cobalt blue mug? No, of course I never. I do not, of all people, I do not need another mug. But looking for something to catch my eye here, some hand thrown pottery mugs are at the top of my list. Something really vintage. And I am scanning and scanning. Here, this one looks like it could be Anthropology, and yes, it is. Anthropology mugs do well online, but this monogram mug is rather plain. It may not quite have the draw that other of their monogram items do, so I'm putting it in my cart to think about it. Also thought this might be hand thrown. It's got that look, but on the bottom it has more of a mass produced kind of look, so I decided to put that back. It's nice though. Nice color, nice kind of boho-y mug. Boho-y, I just made up a word. And down here some floral mugs. Nothing else. I noticed this little mouse. It looks to be wooden and looks cute. This kind of abstract depiction of animals, that's the kind of thing I look for. Unfortunately, the little mousy ears are broken, so I am going to have to leave that. This is a pretty wooden piece. It is a advertisement though. It's a marketing piece, so I leave that. Down here, if I can get it out, which will be a trick, it is buried under some large metal, I think those are candle holders or wall sconces. I've got a tray with some ceramic tiles in it, and it was lighter weight than I expected, so I think it's new. Only $2.99, and while you can see it's apple, pear, lemon, and then one is missing a title, and the words are strange. It's like the words are not English, and so it's a little bit off, so I decide I'm not going to take it. So we're getting into the tchotchke area, and I am doing a scan. I noticed this pot. And I am so sorry about my finger in the way. That really is something I'm going to have to work on. I apologize. But this happens to be a Monmouth pottery pot. It's not glazed, which is unusual. Monmouth pottery is made near where I grew up, and I really like it. But I move on to this ceramic egg. This has a sort of fishnet pattern to it, and it's made in Japan, and I decide I'm going to put it in my cart to think about it. This looks lovely. This is a piece of stone made in India. Oftentimes this has inlay. No inlay and also a chip here, so that is going to have to go back on this shelf. The ones that have inlay with shell, I do look for. Got a figurine here. Got a chipped up peacock bookend. It was rather heavy. Might have been something to think about. There's a piece of amber glass. Figurine. If you can see all this stuff behind my big finger in the way. Sorry, I'm so annoyed with myself. Apologies. Then we've got a little ceramic bird over there. Some more figurines. Again, I don't pick up a lot of figurines. They have to be something that, something that really speaks to me for me to pick them up. And looking down here on a lower shelf, I see this bottle, which looks possibly like it's got some age, and it's got some painting on the outside. It's a carafe. Okay, I'm over at another area, another tchotchke area. Finally moved my finger, and so I am looking at that. As you can see, there's lots and lots of figurines. These realistic figurines are not things that typically draw me. So unless they stand out for some reason, high quality or unusualness. So I'm sort of moving fast, not seeing too much. Here's a piece of lusterware. Sometimes these little trinket dishes, little ashtrays can be a nice find, a nice vintage find. I don't know why I picked up that globe. But then I found this piece of glass. Now this is contemporary, but it is a nice piece of hand-blown glass. I've sold that kind of item before, and I decided, since I'm kind of striking out otherwise, I decided to put it in my cart because I think I can move it, and it's a pretty teal color. Okay, it's cart review time, and we have just a few things. We've got the slate coasters. They are new in their wrapping, and I'm probably going to donate them. We've got the handmade, hand painted at least, apple baker. That is going to go back on the shelf. Here's just some stuff for me for work right there. That's actually for myself personally. We've got the ceramic blue egg made in Japan with the all over fishnet pattern. We've got the contemporary, probably China made art glass flower bowl, but I think I'm going to take it anyway. I found these fancy glass beads. There's 4 packages for just $3.99 each. That is also for work. Here I've got the replacement saucers, the English made one. I think they're both made in England. But the Royal Albert one is the big find. And here is that beautiful detailed quality geisha ware plate. It's a higher quality. Usually the painting is really messy on them, and that one was nice. Here we've got that night trivet or tile. And finally, the big win of the day is the silver-plated shotgun shot glass. It's surprisingly profitable. Okay, so I think we found a few things. I actually spent most of my time just looking at all the newer items I'm not as familiar with and learning about them, and I was just seeing what they have. So for me, I think I liked that Chinese geisha plate. I don't usually pick up things like that, but that one, the quality was really striking to me. So I'm giving it a shot. And the other thing, speaking of shots, the sleeper find was most likely that shot glass made out of the shotgun shell. Surprisingly, might be a really good find. So I got to do a little more research, but it's looking good so far. So anyway, hope you had a good time. Like my channel, subscribe and comment, and come back soon. We will do this again. Thrift on.